Have you ever woken up stretched a bit, walked into the kitchen, and poured yourself that first refreshing glass of water thinking, "This is healthy. This is good for me"? You're definitely not alone. Most people do this. It feels like second nature, especially as we get older and hear over and over again, "Drink water first thing in the morning, stay hydrated." But let me ask you something. Have you ever taken that first sip and suddenly felt a little strange? Maybe you felt a bit dizzy. Maybe your stomach didn't feel quite right. Or maybe you just felt oddly tired, like something was off. But you brushed it off and carried on with your day. Now, what if I told you that this simple habit, drinking water first thing in the morning, something we've always thought of as healthy, might actually be putting quiet stress on your heart, interfering with your medications, upsetting your digestion, or even affecting your kidneys over time? It might sound surprising, but it happens more often than you'd think. As we grow older, our bodies change in ways that aren't always obvious. What worked well in our 30s might not suit us in our 60s or 70s. Our organs slow down. Our thirst signals weaken. Blood pressure can shift more easily. Even our digestion reacts more strongly to little things, like how cold the water is when we drink it, or how quickly we drink it. The problem is, no one really talks about this. No one warns us that drinking water the wrong way in the morning could actually leave us feeling worse, not better. That's exactly why this video matters. Today, I'm going to show you 5 surprisingly risky mistakes older adults often make when drinking water first thing in the morning, and how you can avoid them. Don't worry, this isn't going to be full of complicated medical talk or scary numbers. Just real, down-to-earth advice to help make your mornings safer and more comfortable. By the end of this video, you'll understand what's really going on inside your body, and how a few simple changes can protect your heart, your kidneys, and your overall health. Whether you're looking after someone older, or you are that someone, these small changes can make a big difference in how you start each day. So find a comfortable seat and stay with me. And if you're here because you truly want to take better care of yourself each morning, go ahead and type, "I'm here," in the comments. I'd love to know who's watching and who's ready to age with strength and wisdom. And if this kind of helpful, honest conversation means something to you, consider subscribing to Elderly Wisdom Guide. Because here, we don't just talk about aging, we honor it, and we go through it together. Let's begin with the first mistake: drinking water too quickly. Imagine this. You open your eyes after a rough night. Your mouth is dry, your throat feels scratchy, and your body craves something refreshing. You grab that glass of water next to your bed, or head to the kitchen, fill a glass, and gulp it down like you've been thirsty for days. At first it feels good. Then suddenly you feel dizzy. Your stomach feels a bit uncomfortable. Maybe there's a strange heaviness in your chest, or a flutter in your heartbeat. Most people ignore it. They think, "I must have gotten up too fast," or "maybe I just didn't sleep well." But here's what's really happening. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to sudden changes, especially with things like water. Our digestion slows down. The stomach takes longer to process. Blood pressure becomes less stable. And if the heart is already working harder than it used to, that sudden rush of water can throw it off. Drinking a large amount of water very quickly, especially after hours of lying down, forces your body to adjust too fast. It can cause a brief drop in electrolytes, leading to dizziness. And it may also put extra strain on the heart, especially for people with high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, or weaker heart function. But here's something most people don't realize. Drinking water too quickly first thing in the morning can actually confuse your body's internal systems, leaving you feeling more tired than energized. Now, I get why people think drinking water in the morning jump-starts the body. It does to some extent. But here's the key. It's not just about drinking water. It's about how you drink it. If you overwhelm your system with a large amount of water right away, you're not helping your body. You're putting extra strain on it. After spending 6 to 8 hours fasting and repairing overnight, your body is in a gentle, slow state. You need to ease it into the day. So, what should you do instead? Take your time. Instead of grabbing a whole glass and drinking it down all at once, try starting with half a glass at room temperature. Sip it slowly, over 5 to 10 minutes. Let your body gradually warm up to the day, just like you would stretch before going for a walk. This small change can make a significant difference in how your heart, kidneys, and digestive system react. You're not rushing through the day. You're building energy gradually. You're not just surviving. You're setting your body up to thrive. But that's not all. Drinking too quickly is only one part of the problem. Timing also plays a role. Because the moment you take that first sip, there might be something else happening inside your body that you haven't even considered. Let's move on to mistake number 2. Drinking water before checking your blood pressure medications. Here's a true story. James is 72, retired, and loves his morning walks and reading the newspaper. He's always been the kind of man who enjoys routine. He wakes up, makes the bed, drinks a full glass of water, takes his medications, and then gets on with his day. Seems harmless, right? But what James didn't realize is that drinking that big glass of water first thing in the morning was actually washing away the full effect of the very thing keeping his blood pressure stable, his medication. James began noticing some changes. Some mornings he'd feel shaky, and his blood pressure readings seemed unpredictable. He assumed it was just a part of getting older, but after a quick chat with his pharmacist, the truth came out. Certain blood pressure medications, particularly those for heart rhythm, diuretics, or ACE inhibitors, are highly sensitive to timing. Some need to be taken on an empty stomach with just a small sip of water, while others should be taken after a light meal. And some, if taken too soon after drinking a large glass of water, can be diluted inside your system before they have a chance to work properly. Water might seem harmless, but when you're taking medication, it becomes a bit more complicated. Your body's ability to absorb the medication depends on factors like how full your stomach is, how quickly your digestion works, and even how much liquid you mix it with. When you drink too much water right before or right after taking your medication, you risk flushing it out too quickly, preventing your body from absorbing it fully. And what happens then? You don't get the full benefit of your medication. Your blood pressure could spike later in the day, or even drop too low unexpectedly. This isn't meant to alarm you, but to empower you. Once James learned to wait before drinking that full glass, everything changed. He spoke to his doctor, made a few small adjustments, and now he takes his meds exactly as prescribed. Just a small sip of water first, waits 30 minutes, and then enjoys his usual hydration routine. His blood pressure has stabilized again. So, here's the takeaway for you. If you're on any medication, especially for your heart, blood pressure, or thyroid, don't guess. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist. Ask them, should I drink water before or after taking this? It's a simple question, but the answer can make all the difference. And speaking of the wrong moment, there's another mistake to avoid. It's not just about what you drink, but what you do right after drinking. This simple action can trigger problems in your digestion, bladder, and even your balance. Let's talk about mistake number 3, lying back down after drinking. Now picture this. Martha is 78. She keeps a glass of water by her bedside, always has. She wakes up early, takes a few sips, or sometimes the whole glass, and then leans back into her pillows. Just 5 more minutes, she tells herself. The house is quiet, her joints are stiff, and the morning is slow. Something was starting to change. Martha began noticing that familiar discomfort in her chest more frequently, that burn, a little bloating, and a tight feeling in her upper stomach. Some mornings she even felt mildly queasy, as though the food from the day before hadn't quite settled. She adjusted her diet, took an antacid now and then, but the discomfort lingered. It wasn't until her daughter casually asked about her morning routine that the pattern finally became clear. It was the habit of drinking water and then lying back down. Here's what's important to understand. As we age, the valve between our stomach and esophagus, the lower esophageal sphincter, weakens. It doesn't close as tightly as it once did. Suddenly, gravity plays a more critical role in digestion. So when you drink water and lie down right afterward, that liquid can move upward into the esophagus. Even plain water, especially on an empty stomach, can trigger mild acid reflux or make existing heartburn worse. And no, it doesn't always feel like classic heartburn. Sometimes it's just a tightness in the chest, a lingering cough, or that uncomfortable fullness that hangs around far too long. The misconception is that water is soothing. People think that drinking it will calm their stomach, but lying down soon after actually traps the water in your upper digestive tract, which then irritates the lining of your esophagus. This is especially true in the early morning when your stomach is still waking up, digestion is slower, and your body isn't quite ready to handle food or liquids. So what can you do instead? It's simple. After drinking water, stay upright for at least 15 to 30 minutes. You don't need to stand or do anything strenuous. Just sitting on the edge of the bed, with your feet on the floor, stretching your shoulders, or even reading the newspaper will allow gravity to help your body ease into the day. This small change could significantly reduce discomfort. For Martha, that one shift, staying upright, dramatically improved her reflux. She didn't need any new medication or a special diet. All she needed was awareness and a little wisdom. And that's what this is about. Understanding when your body needs different care as you age. Now we've already touched on the dangers of drinking too quickly, the timing of medication, and what to avoid afterward. But there's another common mistake many people think is healthy, one that doctors used to recommend, but which can quietly harm your kidneys without you realizing it. Let's talk about mistake number 4. Drinking cold water first thing in the morning. Now let me tell you about Brian. He's 75, always sharp, disciplined, and an early riser. For decades, his morning routine never changed. He'd wake up, splash cold water on his face, then down a tall glass of ice-cold water from the fridge. He said it helped jumpstart his system, making him feel alert, refreshed, and alive. But as time passed, things began to shift. Some mornings he'd experience mild cramping in his stomach. It wasn't severe, but it was uncomfortable. He noticed a strange tightness in his lower back, slower digestion, and a lack of hunger. Sometimes he even felt colder than usual, even though the room was warm. It didn't make sense. He hadn't changed anything in his routine, but his body had changed. That once rejuvenating glass of cold water was now quietly disturbing his system. Here's why. Cold water can shock your digestive system, especially as you age. When you drink ice-cold water first thing in the morning, your body has to work harder to warm it up to its internal temperature. This may not seem like much when you're young, but as you get older, this extra effort can slow digestion, tighten blood vessels in the stomach, and even cause stress on the kidneys, which become more fragile with age. Your internal organs work best at a stable, warm temperature. They function most efficiently when your body's core temperature is steady. Cold water constricts, slows down processes, and causes tension. It's like asking your stomach to run a marathon without warming up first. Still, many people believe that cold water is synonymous with health, purity, and freshness. They think that icy water is a perfect way to start the day. But for the aging body, that cold shock can actually put an unnecessary stress on your system when it's most vulnerable, especially in the early morning when your muscles are stiff, your organs are just starting to wake up, and your digestion is sluggish. So what's the best option? Lukewarm or room temperature water? Even B2. Better, consider adding a slice of lemon. The mild acidity of lemon helps kickstart digestion naturally, while the warmth of the water helps keep your body balanced and calm. Brian made this small change, and within a week, the cramps vanished. His appetite returned, and he even mentioned that his mornings felt more peaceful. No more sudden jolt, just steady, supportive hydration. Exactly what his body needed. Because, once again, what worked in your 40s or 50s may not be the best choice now, and that's perfectly okay. This stage of life calls for gentler habits, deeper listening, and wiser decisions. We've already covered 4 important mistakes, each small and easy to overlook. But there's one more, and it's the biggest mistake of all: doing nothing at all. Let's talk about the consequences of skipping water in the morning. Not even a sip. This simple habit can quietly drain your energy, affect your mood, and even harm your organs over time. Let's uncover it together. Mistake number 5. Skipping your morning hydration. Let me introduce you to Elaine. Elaine is 80, full of grace, and as sharp as ever. She's active in her garden, loves doing crossword puzzles, and never misses her favorite afternoon shows. But something was bothering her. Now and then she'd feel lightheaded when standing up. It wasn't every day, but often enough to make her sit back down. She started experiencing small cramps in her legs, especially in the mornings. She'd brush it off. "I'm just getting older," she'd say. "Probably just slept wrong." But then one morning she stood up, got dizzy, and nearly stumbled. No fall, thankfully, but it scared her. And her daughter was worried too. They started asking questions. Had something changed? Was it her medication or blood sugar? Turns out it was something surprisingly simple. Elaine wasn't drinking water in the morning, not even a few sips. Here's something many people don't realize. As we grow older, our natural thirst response becomes less noticeable. You might not feel thirsty, but that doesn't mean your body doesn't need hydration. In fact, by the time you feel thirst, mild dehydration may have already set in. Think about it. Your body goes 6 to 8 hours without water while you sleep. Even if you're not sweating, you're still losing fluids through breathing, through your skin, and through natural metabolic processes. When you wake up, your body is a bit behind. Your cells are dry, your joints may feel stiff, your mind slightly foggy, and your blood a little thicker. For older adults, even mild dehydration can contribute to symptoms like dizziness, muscle cramps, fatigue, or confusion. It may place additional strain on your kidneys, and in some cases, influence heart rate and blood pressure. Yet many people say, "I don't feel thirsty in the morning," or "Coffee should be enough, right?" Here's the truth. Coffee doesn't replace water. In fact, it may contribute to fluid loss. What your body truly needs is simple: water. But that doesn't mean you need to chug a full glass. Start gently. Try half a glass of room temperature water as soon as you wake up. You can even set it on your nightstand the night before, making it a quiet part of your morning ritual. Just like brushing your teeth. That's what Elaine did. She didn't make it a chore, just a gentle, mindful habit. Half a glass in the morning, followed by a bit more with breakfast. In just a few days, she noticed changes: less dizziness, fewer cramps, more clarity. She felt steadier and more in control of her mornings. Because here's the thing, you don't have to feel thirsty to be dehydrated. And skipping that first small step in the morning could set the tone for a day that feels a little off balance. Now that you've learned about these 5 common morning mistakes, quiet habits that can slowly chip away at your energy, focus, and well-being, take a moment to reflect. Not just on your mornings, but on your whole journey of health. What you do in the first 30 minutes of your day can set the tone for the next 12 hours. And your body, that wonderfully resilient, wise, and evolving body, deserves the very best start. It can be frustrating, can't it? These simple routines you've followed for years, suddenly you discover they may not be serving you the way they used to. But it's not your fault. You've done your best. You've stayed informed, stayed active, taken your medications, and listened to your body. Now you're learning that as your body changes, It asks for new things, more care, more gentleness. That shift can feel a little unsettling at times, but you are not alone. Millions of older adults are walking this same path, relearning, adjusting, and discovering how to stay strong, alert, and independent in a changing world. Here's the good news. This isn't about fear. It's about clarity. It's about empowerment, about taking back control where it matters most. Because when you understand your body's changing needs, you stop reacting and start responding with calm and confidence. You don't have to change everything. Just pay attention to the small signals. Treat yourself with the same care and kindness you've shown others all your life. The truth is, you don't need to completely overhaul your life. You just need to pay attention to the quiet signals and respond with care. So here's one small thing you can do tonight. Before bed, pour yourself half a glass of room temperature water and set it on your nightstand. Let it be a quiet promise to yourself. Then, in the morning, before the rush of coffee, medication, or the noise of the day takes over, take a moment. Sit up, feel your feet on the ground, and take a slow sip. It doesn't have to be big or dramatic, just intentional, just yours. These small acts of awareness, these tiny shifts, they accumulate. They strengthen your body, sharpen your mind, and deepen your connection to the life you're still very much living. You're not just surviving, you're adjusting, learning, and growing. And that takes courage. It's never too late to care more deeply for your body, to honor the years it's carried you, and to treat each new day not as a burden, but as a fresh opportunity to nurture your well-being. You've earned that. You deserve that. So start tomorrow with intention. Not just because it's good for you, but because you're worth it. Let's wrap it up with a few key reminders. Drink slowly. Don't rush your body. Be mindful of how your medications interact with water. Stay upright after drinking to let your system adjust. Skip the icy cold water. Your body will appreciate something gentler. And whatever you do, don't skip hydration altogether. These 5 mistakes are common and easy to overlook. But now that you know them, they're just as easy to fix. And knowledge is only powerful when shared. So, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 surprised you the most? Was there one you've unknowingly been doing for years? Or perhaps something you've changed recently that made a real difference? Let's talk in the comments. Your story might just help someone else see things more clearly. Sometimes a single comment can open someone's eyes. And if this video gave you a moment of peace, helped you feel seen, heard, or simply understood, I'd love for you to stick around. Tap that subscribe button because here on Elderly Wisdom Guide, we don't just talk about aging, we talk about living well as we age. We share what works, we tell the truth about what doesn't, and most importantly, we walk this journey together. No hype, no scare tactics, just heart, honesty, and wisdom you can use. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. It truly means a lot. Take care of yourself, drink with intention, and remember, every small shift you make today is shaping a better tomorrow. Stay strong, stay curious, and always stay wise. I'll see you in the next video.